In a land ruled by steel and silence, where duty was sacred and death was a gift, there walked men of honor, poets, strategists, warriors. They were more than soldiers. They were the soul of Japan. They were the samurai. This is March Through History. More than 1,000 years ago, imperial power in Japan began to fade. As the emperor's grasp weakened, local clans seized power, and war became the language of politics. Out of this chaos emerged the Bushi, noble warriors who would rise to dominate Japanese society for centuries. What began as military servants became Japan's ruling class. The samurai. Bushido, the way of the warrior, was the code that bound them, a philosophy forged in Zen Buddhism and Shinto values. It demanded loyalty unto death, courage without hesitation, self-discipline, and reverence for one's master. To falter in duty brought unbearable shame. For a samurai, there was only one way to restore honor: seppuku, ritual suicide, a final act of loyalty and defiance. The most sacred symbol of the samurai was the katana. Not just a weapon, a soul. Forged over weeks with fire, water, and prayer, its curved blade was folded hundreds of times to create strength and beauty. A katana was not drawn lightly. To unsheath it meant a readiness to kill or to die. Legends say a true katana could cut through silk in midair and through armor in battle. Samurai trained tirelessly in kenjutsu, the art of the sword, practicing strikes, parries, and forms until the blade became an extension of the mind. But mastery was not only of the sword. From childhood, samurai were trained in kyujutsu, archery, sojutsu, spearfighting, and later firearms. They studied strategy, Zen meditation, calligraphy, and poetry. Because the greatest warrior was not a brute, but a philosopher. They were trained to kill with grace and to die with dignity. Samurai history is written in blood across the battlefields of Japan. During the Genpei War, 1180 to 1185, the Minamoto and Taira clans waged a brutal conflict that ended with the rise of the Kamakura shogunate and Japan's first military government. In the Sengoku Jidai, the Warring States era, hundreds of clans clashed in decades of chaos. Samurai fought for survival, loyalty, ambition, and legacy. The Battle of Okahazama, where Oda Nobunaga crushed a much larger army with brilliant tactics. The Battle of Sekigahara, a titanic clash that unified Japan under Tokugawa rule, and the Siege of Osaka, where the last remnants of the Toyotomi clan were destroyed in a blaze of steel and fire. Among the samurai, one name stands above the rest: Miyamoto Musashi. Orphaned young, battle-hardened by 15, Musashi fought over 60 duels and never lost. His most famous duel was against Sasaki Kojiro on the island of Ganryu. Musashi arrived late, wielding a wooden sword carved from a boat oar. With one devastating strike, the demon of the West fell. Musashi's writings, the Book of Five Rings, blended martial mastery with deep philosophy. To this day, it remains essential reading for warriors, leaders, and seekers. In the 19th century, everything changed. Western powers arrived with gunships and treaties. The Tokugawa shogunate fell, the emperor was restored, and with the Meiji Restoration, the samurai were stripped of their privileges, titles, and swords. In 1877, the final rebellion was led by Saigo Takamori, the last samurai. With katana against rifles, his army was slaughtered at Shiroyama. The samurai age ended, not with glory, but with defiance. Yet the way of the warrior never truly died. Samurai combat evolved. Their deadly battlefield arts became refined disciplines. Kenjutsu became kendo, the way of the sword. Jujutsu became judo, the gentle way. Their philosophy helped shape Aikido, karate, and even modern self-defense systems. Today, these arts are practiced not to conquer, but to master the self. The samurai live on, not just in dojos, but on screens around the world. Akira Kurosawa's films introduced their stoic nobility to cinema. Anime like Rurouni Kenshin and Samurai Champloo turned them into pop culture legends. Video games like Ghost of Tsushima let players walk the path of the blade. Even in the Jedi of Star Wars, echoes of Bushido remain. Romanticized, yes, but beneath the myth lies a real history, sharpened by steel and sacrifice. The samurai are gone, but in the silent bow, in the polished blade, in the discipline of the martial path, their spirit endures. But where warriors strode in daylight, others moved through shadow. Spies, saboteurs, assassins of the night, the shinobi are coming. Would you like to explore the martial arts born from the samurai's legacy? Jujutsu, Aikido, Judo, Kendo, Karate. Tell us in the comments what you'd like to see next. This is March Through History. Subscribe for more stories of warriors, weapons, and the world they fought in.